Good morning, everybody. It's early. I feel amazing. It is raining outside. And, well, yeah, I made some interesting statements yesterday around baser instincts. Because I learned about Maslow's ladder, Maslow's hierarchy of needs. My gosh, like a long time ago. And then I revisited it during the protocol. And I'm not exactly sure what was my intention a couple of years ago when the the protocol came out, but I know that Maslow's hierarchy of needs is really telltale of where people are regarding their survival level as well as where they're going to end up. Okay, and you can look at your friends and family and see, as far as Maslow's hierarchy of needs, are they always at the base level just trying to survive? Hey, I'm Kari, yeah. Or have they reached, maybe the third rung from the top, that they've acquired property and they have their emotional needs pretty much fulfilled, I guess. And then have they get to like the second from the top and the third from the top? And even if they did get to the top, that still isn't good enough. But it's good enough in our society because you only have maybe less than 100 years. So if you reach even the self-actualization where you can be everything you can be, my God, that's like a major milestone for a very small amount of people. Because I'm telling you, a lot of people are still at the very bottom rung. They're still playing with their hormones. They're still, trying to keep shelter, food, and all of that, and sleep. And so they're still way at the base level. And then we've intellectualized the base level. And so I made an inflammatory statement yesterday about people that promote tantric sex are no different than those that are the monkeys doing their business at the zoo in public. Okay? Because when you're promoting something such a base level instinct, such as sex and all the things that goes around it, I mean, how is that any accomplishment? Why is that being categorized as enlightenment? I mean, everybody can do it. It's just like saying that motherhood is just like the most extraordinary thing. Yeah, it is, but is it anything really that enlightening? Anybody can be a mother. A good mother is really a different thing, where your kids turn out so well balanced and so amazing, and there's no hidden skeletons in the closet or addictions or any other stuff. I mean, that's really the celebration of motherhood, is when your kids turn out like freaking amazing people. Like amazing. Okay. And so, and they don't have to be famous, but we haven't seen anyone turn out an amazing kid when you think about it, because they come from predispositions and then the end result is death. So, we've turned out people that just kind of exist in our society. They try to balance out between self and community, and they fool themselves. And in my opinion, people fool themselves when they try to be so selfless and be all about community, and they haven't even taken care of their own body, mind, and spirit. I mean, they're aging, degrading. They can't afford to be giving away all of their energy to either their kid or to somebody else, because they haven't even taken care of themselves. And so, at some point, I mean, there's got to be a balance between self and community, like a true balance, but it has to come from a very authentic place. And right now, we have people that want to be all community oriented, but they can't afford it. And then what they do is they sacrifice themselves for the community. And I see it. People that sacrifice themselves for their children, they sacrifice themselves for causes that they believe in. They would rather die for their belief systems than live another day. I mean, we have so many sacrificial lambs out there that are self-proclaimed sacrificial lambs, that is kind of like a community suicide. And I don't think that's very authentic or aligned with the body, mind, and spirit. So I think that people should be selfish, especially around the JJ's protocol, to take care of themselves, because the only way that you can take care of a community is if you actually take care of yourself at the base level, at the root level, and then work yourself past self-actualization, because just merely being self-actualized is not enough. And what does that actually mean? I mean, in our society, it could be like, oh yeah, you got a degree and you're like, what's his name? Like, Dr. Phil. People can say that he's self-actualized because he's now in his element and he's famous and he's on TV and he has all these people listening to him and he has major influence. I mean, is that really self-actualization? Probably, but that's still very self. That's still very self-oriented, selfish, and he's age integrated. So even though he's giving to the community, he's totally taking from the community and sucking the people dry around him. And then is it really then, should that be something to aspire to be so self-actualized to where you are forcing people to sacrifice themselves to you? And I don't think that's true. I really think that down the road, when we get past self-actualization and we are community oriented, we know how to take care of ourselves. We know how to replenish all of our reserves without having them leak out everywhere. And we know how to balance between taking care of ourselves and the community to where we can afford to give to people, body, mind, and spirit, money, whatever. And what people don't understand is they can't afford to give their body, mind, and spirit to people who keep taking, and they haven't even taken care of themselves. Okay, so that's, so I'm picking apart the psychology community because I came from the world of psychotherapy and being raised around that. And I did take several classes at John F. Kennedy University in Orinda way back in the 90s. And, you learn the basics of psychology. No, I didn't go into major heavy study. I didn't go into Nietzsche, maybe. I mean, there's so many facets of psychology that you can go into, and then you get into I don't say esoterics, but you get into all the different types of psychotherapy and the Reiki and, all of the different manipulations of therapy and talk therapy and body therapy and all of that, which is not horrible in itself. It's still a release, but you now have to regenerate the cells at the micro level because that release is only half the battle. I mean, we're doing releases with Jilly Juice all the time, but we're also simultaneously regenerating. So, so psychotherapy and all the medical holistic industry is only half the battle. The other half, the actual work, is with Jilly Juice. And so, and so that's what has me see these realizations, because I did live by Maslow's ladder for many, many years, thinking that was the ultimate model to go by. But then I realized that it only goes so far to self because people have died prematurely. I mean, Maslow, he's a doctor. I mean, yesterday I was kind of fumbling on who the hell he was. I know who he is, but he's a doctor in psychotherapy. They all aged and degraded. I mean, they're from Germany, from different parts of Europe, and they had things to offer, but they still filtered all of their perceptions on what psychology is and what people should aspire to be through the lens of their degradation. And so, so I could see why the top of the pyramid is like, there's a limitation, because there's a limitation with these people who've created that. They've hit the top of their freaking glass ceiling. Okay? So it's bursting out of the box. So you live outside the box and you get beyond the damn pyramid. Because that pyramid is even like in the Illuminati. People are talking about Illuminati and how, you have the top, the CEO, and then everybody, all the support systems that are below. And they're saying that the base level is what supports the top. And yeah, of course, you start from the bottom, and then the top, very rarely do people actually make it to the top, because they're still swimming in the base level, types of survival skills. And so the whole Jilly Juice is now wanting to flatten that little stupid triangle to where you're not at base level, but you're more than self-actualized. And so maybe those that are, so that the pyramid needs to be upside down to where self-actualization is at the bottom, and then the top is how community oriented you are. There's more community oriented people at the top that have taken care of their self-actualization. So self-actualization is now something that is rare, but it's at the bottom, it's not at the top. See, that's what the weird thing is, because it's still only a few people are self-actualized, but not because it's like they're rare. It's like it's only a few people can do it. It's that we don't want too many people being totally self-actualized. We want people to be community-oriented, and then the people at the bottom should be selfish or self-actualized. Okay? So community is about how do you get a bunch of queen bees who have been self-actualized, able to now collaborate with each other without fighting. And that's what it comes down to is when you think about it, like, you know, for me to collaborate with other people, they have to be on the same level as me and me on the same level as them. If there's always conflict, obviously we're not on the same level. Whether your level is low or high or my level is low or high, it doesn't even matter what level you are with people. If you are always in conflict, then you're not at the same level. So at some point down the road in the future, where all the queen bees get together, and you could be a queen bee with one person in your freaking hive, or you could be a queen bee with like 50 people or thousands of people in your hive. It doesn't even matter. So then it comes down to, well, it's just get along with people that have the same similar biochemistry, same outlook, same, you know, mode of operandus, and there is no conflict. Because when there's conflict, there's miscommunication, there's, you know, people are at different levels of Maslow's ladder, and some are at the base level, others are more self-actualized, and they cannot seem to speak to each other. And so instead of Maslow, so it's this is what maybe we aspire to, okay? As far as, well, I know it's all backwards. As far as what we want as a model, we want very few people who are self-actualized and more people that are community-oriented, because self-actualized people, which is great, that is the limitation. Because now once you're self-actualized, now there's more work to be done. You have now a community that you need to take care of and be an example to. Not just be all about you, and all about you, and that's it. There is now a community of people, and you're able to exemplify in a very well-balanced way, because you're not aging and degrading. You're not causing wars. You're not insulting people left and right, which I know I have. So I know I'm not self-actualized, but not that I insult people, but I kind of call things out the way they are. I would say that some of the way I say things can be very aggressive, and it could come off as an insult, which, okay, yeah, I will agree with that. And so I obviously need polishing. I'm not there yet, so whatever there is. But at some point, you know, what our community, what my vision for the world is to where you have all the queen bees finally are able to work with each other and move society forward, not get lost in conflict and disagreement and miscommunication and imbalances of biochemistry. It's to where everybody has, you know, everybody's on the same level, in the same playing field. And that obviously is going to be not very, you know, soon, because we have 7 billion people. And every single time that you reproduce, you have a child that is going to be doing what they do. And you can't always guide the child correctly, because not every parent is equipped to handle guiding their children correctly. At some point, they're going to say, well, it's up to my kids. You know, it really is. I can't do anything more. It's up to my kids. And you're right. I mean, you can only tell somebody or guide somebody. So that's why it's so important that if we're going to have reproduction, that we guide it so carefully with the J juice, so they don't end up where you are like, I have no control. My kid has their own mind. I'm out of it. Now it's up to them. And that's a tough place to be. Especially if you're on the Jilly Juice and you know the power of Jilly Juice, and your kid's like maybe 14 or 15 and they don't have a clue, and they're living in their hormones, and they're influenced by their peers who have parents who are not on the Jilly Juice, and they have their own views. They're lost to the mainstream, and you're still the minority. And that's a tough place to be. So, you know, that's why in the future, hopefully, you know, who knows? I mean, these are my visions of the future. But I know that we can go beyond self-actualization, because it really isn't about self really anymore. It really is about community, but you better have what it takes to be able to handle your community. And that means that the stopping the aging process, not promoting antibiotics. Jilly Juice isn't just like one component, and it isn't just like a self-regeneration. Jilly Juice is a detox, a cell regeneration. It is it could be antibiotic, which means, I don't say anti-life. It's not really antibiotic, but it controls and balances out your microbiome, so you don't have an overabundance of any one thing. So So you don't need antibiotics. So you don't need herbs. So you don't need supplements. So you don't need chemotherapy or cannabis. So you don't need any of the MLMs or any of the holistic supplements. I mean, Jilly Juice has it all. It could be everything that you have put your faith in as far as the holistic world. It will cover it all. So you never have to promote herbs. So you never have to promote anything as a remedy in the holistic world. No lemon water, no detoxes, no nothing. Jilly Juice can handle it all. Okay. And so that's in the future where I hope to get my people on the same wavelength. Because when I block people, when I get all annoyed when someone like promotes these pills, power supplements, and kind of mischaracterize J Juice as like one little thing when it really is everything, I'm like, dude, you got to keep drinking more of the J Juice. Get off of your herbs and your oils and your detoxes, because that's what's stopping you from really understanding what J Juice is about. It's everything. J Juice covers it all. You can go to your medicine cabinet and throw everything away as long as you're not on a prescription drug. And you won't need it. You won't need your herbs. You won't need your little shakes. You won't need your little juice concoctions that you think is going to be healthy for you. You just eat like a regular diet. You don't need to be like, well, I got to have only this, 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 and this, and it can't be GMO. It has to be only organic, and it can't be a gluten, and it can't be this. And I mean, that's the holistic allopathic world of discrimination, not understand objectivity, not understanding balance. It's very imbalanced. And so before we can be generous with our body, mind, and spirit, okay, and try to impart Jilly Juice when you really don't have any business talking about it, when you're still very imbalanced, okay, it's like, no, just do the Jilly Juice. Maybe if I could ask you to stop promoting your holistic remedies, but that's not for me to say, and I'm not going to go legislate morals on people's pages. But the way to help a community, okay, the way to help a community is to take care of yourself at the cellular level. And J Juice is its own. Well, I guess I don't even want to call myself an MLM, because there's a whole connotation, Kari, but I hear what you're saying. That's a lot of baggage. Okay. MLM is a lot of baggage. Just saying Jilly Juice is a cure. A lot of baggage, not a cure. It really is an MLM, because you're not selling anything. You're not making any money off of something. Okay. What Jilly Juice is first, it makes you selfish so you can become self-actualized, and then you're going to move beyond that. Because before you can really help a community, you really got to know yourself. You really got to know what runs you, what makes you tick. You got to be so self-aware of when you are hypocritical. See, that's the thing with Jilly Juice. It has you see that you are hypocritical. So when you are still being an activist, you're hypocritical. Okay, activism in itself is hypocrisy, and it really, you don't know yourself. Okay, and so when you finally know yourself, then you will then you can start seeing how you can help the community. And that's and then that's the thing is, well, what does knowing self mean? And there's so many books about self and so many psychological perspectives about self, and you can Google what self is and the psychological angles that they have on it. But, the specific measure result of knowing oneself is that you can be the one to live continuously, reverse all of your cancer, disease, chronic illness, you're aging, you're degrading, you're very tunnel vision, you lose your subjectivity, and now you're more objective. You can see the world as a whole, not so compartmentalized in subject matters. You see how everything is connected. When you actually look at all the categories in society, you see the connections between all of them, and you can narrow it. And then you can actually do analogies that people understand, that you see and understand the connections. And so that is where, okay, now you're self-actualized, right? But now it's more than that. Now, what are you, now, do I fit that? I'm telling you, I'm not there yet. I'm not saying that I am there, but I'm saying that but I see shades of what for me to even talk about this, I have to see shades of the possibility. I have to see shades of how our society could be, because no man is an island. I'm not by myself. I'm Kari, you're not by yourself. Abu Nasir, you're not by yourself. You guys are all part of a community. So so it's very hard to be so self-serving when you're part of a community, But for you to be part of a community at an effective level, you really have to understand yourself first and how you operate, so you understand how your community operates and how you can guide it in a different direction. And that is the premise of J Juice, is understanding self before you can help your community. And so that is the balance. And so that's why I think I focused on Maslow's ladder yesterday, and then talking about people that are playing with their hormones and how it's no different than a monkey jacking off at the zoo, because, okay, so you can play with your hormones, but they intellectualize it. So it sounds very advanced. It sounds so fancy and so hoity-toity. Oh yes, tantric sex. Oh, that's so amazing. No, it's not. It's everybody can do it, and if they wanted to. And just because you can doesn't mean you should. And should you even promote it? And, it's like, well, what's the point? I mean, no. That is a base level instinct that I think humanity can go beyond the animal primeval instinct of predator, prey, and reproduction. Life, death, and reproduction is the base level instinct, the sleeping, the eating, the shelter, the air, the food, the water, reproduction. That's all base level stuff. Okay, so if people think that that's enlightening, intellectualizing base level instinctual capabilities, that's where our society is kind of messed up. And so we got to rise above that. But even more so, even at the top of the pyramid of self-actualization, it's even more than self-actualization. Now, after you actually are self-actualized, then it's about your community. And that's where the new society down the road, that's probably where we're going to end up once we get people finally self-actualized. But that's not the end all be all. That's still just another rung in the ladder. Maslow died, so he didn't know anything else but self-actualization. He didn't know anything but self. Okay, but then people think that because, you don't make it to self-actualization that you still can give to a community. No, then you become sacrificial lambs. People start sacrificing themselves because they haven't even understood themselves. And then they're leaking energy. They are triggering the second law of thermodynamics. They're wasting their energy on their kids that are in their 30s or 40s that haven't figured it out yet, on people who are just taking, people who are just siphoning your energy, just trying to get you to react and respond to them in some way, shape, or form. Okay, I mean, that's what goes on in our society, is people are taking each other's energy and parasiting off of that. So that's why I am the way I am in a lot of ways, because it is about where you guys got to learn how to figure out the protocol on your own. I laid it out for you. I mean, I have so many videos and so many things that you guys can look at and understand and then implement, and then you start seeing the changes. So that way I don't have to keep giving of myself. I give enough every single day. But then but are you wasting your energy on people that don't really know? Because it's helping me too. I'm writing another book. So the more I talk about J Juice and the revelations I have and my vision for the future, it's helping me clarify where I'm going, and it's also helping you guys get an idea of what the possibility is on J Juice once you get to a certain level and you keep drinking it and you keep going through all of your healing process. Eventually you're going to have an aha moment, and it's going to look different than mine. Maybe, I don't know what yours is going to look like. You all have different backgrounds. So in a lot of ways, I'm balancing out self and community as we speak today. And, and I don't see anything wrong with that, to where, when you're helping your community, you're also helping yourself, and you're not losing anything. You're not sacrificing yourself, because you know how to regenerate yourself at the micro level with the J Juice. Okay. But am I there yet? What the hell is there? I don't even know what there is. We are continuously evolving, but at least we can see where we are on Maslow's ladder and realize, okay, where are we? And then have we hit those specific checkpoints? And the end result is not self-actualization. It's beyond that, because we are now looking to live beyond 100, 200, 300. We have the propensity and the possibility to live beyond what Maslow has limited the pyramid to be. Okay. And that's what I'm trying to get across and introduce, is that we are not limited by the pyramid. Okay. So that's all I got to say. Bye.